Many of you are frustrated. You're frustrated because you want to start using the FamilySearch family tree, and it is taking too long to get your tree information into the platform. On the comment threads on my channel and the other genealogy channels on YouTube, as well in Reddit and Facebook pages, again and again and again, people are asking, why does it take so long to upload my family tree? Well, today I'm going to talk you through a number of reasons why it's taking so long and what you need to do about it. First, you have to understand the FamilySearch platform. Unlike other genealogy research platforms, you're working in a one-tree place. You are working in a collaborative environment. And FamilySearch makes the family tree open-ended. Anybody can change the information on the family tree. And some of you're worried. You're thinking, I don't want anybody to change my information. So I have a blog post of why you shouldn't be using FamilySearch if you don't like some of those changes. And you'll find a link to that blog post in the show notes, or it's over on FamilyHistoryFanatics.com. But guess what? People can change your tree. That means they can do a lot of the research that you don't have the time or access to, which means it goes to the second principle over here of reducing duplicate research. Instead of all of us going to a Canadian archive and looking at the same record for the same person, my aunt can go do the research, or a distant cousin can do the research. We put it on the FamilySearch family tree, and we're all leveraging each other's research. And so I don't necessarily need to be working on that project right now. I can be working on others, which is really great. The other thing that FamilySearch wants is one profile for every person. They don't want 15 profiles, which brings me to a principle that you have to get very familiar with, and that is your family tree person that you have information about is probably already in the FamilySearch family tree. The FamilySearch program or the company has been around or has inherited information that began in the late 1800s. They have a lot of material. In 2012, the family tree that they were all working on had all of these different digitized databases of information. I'm not going to go through this too much because I covered it in my webinar, Pruning Your Family Tree, which will also be linked in the description box below. But what they did is they took all of these databases that have duplicate information about people, and they said, you know what? We're going to take your profile of John in a baptismal record in St. Kevin, England, and the user tree that has John on it, and a pedigree chart somebody submitted, and then the IGI file, which was based on that baptismal record or the family tree. Yeah, a lot of duplicate information. We're going to dump it all into the FamilySearch family tree. Now, if you're frustrated about the duplicates, this is why. It's not that everybody's creating a new profile, although there are some people who are. A lot of times it's from these different databases, and if you'll just merge them together, they'll stay together. If you don't know how to merge your duplicate profiles that you discover, there will be links in the description for that process. What is the process now? FamilySearch doesn't want you to take your GEDcom file and push it into the family tree and create more duplicate profiles, particularly anybody who has more than 5 people in their database, which I know many of you do. Why don't you tell me how many people you have in your Ancestry tree or your Roots Magic or other genealogy software database in the comments? I'm just curious. But FamilySearch does not want you to take your GEDcom file and push it into the FamilySearch family tree, creating more duplicates, creating more of a mess. And so, contrary to the recommendations of some of my colleagues who have taught you how to take your GEDcom and push it into the FamilySearch family tree using their GEDcom uploader to the active family tree rather than just the archive side of the platform, I'm going to tell you not to do it that way. A lot of complaints is, oh, it times out. Oh, it's taking so long. Yeah, that's why. FamilySearch is preventing you from creating duplicates. Now, towards the end of this video, I'll tell you what to do instead. But in short, don't try to upload your GEDcom in one fell swoop into the FamilySearch family tree. The next reason why it is really slow to get your information into the FamilySearch family tree is because it's an open edit platform. And because it's open edit, FamilySearch wants to track every change somebody makes on the family tree so that we all know who to yell at. Or who to thank. So when you use the option I'm going to tell you about here in a moment, or you're working on cleaning up your family tree, it takes a long time because every change, if you change a date, if you change a place, if you add a custom fact, if you change a name, if you break a relationship, if you add a relationship, if you add a media, if you add a source, if you delete a source, do you get the idea? Everything you do on the platform, FamilySearch is tracking that change. And that slows the process down. Because what other platform is asking you, why are you making this change? And you can only make one change at a time. But FamilySearch is trying to slow you down. And this is the reason why. I do have something that I consider a time saver. There are several genealogy programs where you can not only download information from FamilySearch, but you can also write to FamilySearch. I know for a fact that Roots Magic does this, and I've talked to you about this in videos on this channel. Other people in the community have said that Legacy genealogy software does that. If that is correct, then make sure you put that in the comments below. I've read the literature on their website and I believe that that is accurate. There are some other platforms they can download information from FamilySearch, but you cannot write to FamilySearch. So yes, go ahead and use a genealogy software program in order to make it a little easier to compare your GEDcom file to FamilySearch and make the updates one at a time. You will be able to update a person from a genealogy program. You can also update facts, you can add sources, and yes, it is time consuming. But recognize there is a reason why FamilySearch is slowing you down, and it is to improve the accuracy of the information that we're all using on FamilySearch. So if you're frustrated, I hope this helps alleviate some of the frustration. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it, well then don't. It is okay if you don't participate in the FamilySearch family tree. But I know that in 2012, I went gangbusters, merging profiles, connecting things, getting facts correct, and my tree for the most part has stayed pruned and healthy, and it looks great. Occasionally a researcher will make a change that I'm like, what the heck are you doing? I'll go and look and I can see who made the change, send them an email within the system, or they may have shared the email address and I can use my email service to send them a message and say, hey, what did you do? Sometimes they give me new information and sometimes I give them new information. And that collaborative environment, because we both just want an accurate family tree, has really saved me a lot of times. There have been new pictures added to the FamilySearch family tree that I would never have known existed had we not been using this collaborative environment. So I invite you to go ahead and use FamilySearch. If you want some more tips and tricks on how to use FamilySearch, go ahead and check this playlist up above. And if you want the latest video, check the one down below if I don't chop off my hand. I hope this video didn't make some of my colleagues mad.